Hi y'all, in today's video you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. We're going to discuss a few products instead of just one, and I'm going to give you some useful information, especially if you are a more mature woman, so stick with me. I have finally finished my review on the Elle Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This is ELLE's newest release. Comes in 35 shades, medium, buildable, long-lasting, retails for only $8. We're going to find out how that fares on my very dry, very textured, very finicky, redness-prone, fine lined and not so fine line, mature skin. And we're also going to talk about the viral hack with Aquaphor that's been made famous by pro makeup artist Scott Barnes, who is best known for JLo's Glow and more recently for this Aquaphor hack. But ladies, this is not a new technique. The whole premise behind this is not new, and although this is an affordable way to do it, I have some better options that I've been using for 3 to 5 years now. And if this sounds like something that's interesting to you, stick around because we're about to get right into it.
I wonder what she hides under her disguise. Yeah. And all the girls around the world, they wanna be. And all they told you to
the I am almost 54. I am from South Louisiana, and I like to bring you content on beauty, skincare, lifestyle tips, tools, and topics geared towards the mature woman. And if those sound like things that interest you, consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the family. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I upload normally every Thursday, and let's get right into the topic. So before we get into the Elle application and my thoughts, I want to say I've been testing that out for over a week, wearing it every day in every kind of condition. I know it seems like I'm always late to the game with new products, but that's because oftentimes I get them the same time everybody else does. However, I really put them through the paces before I give you a review. Now for $8, this probably didn't require as much putting through the paces, because if you lost out on $8, it's probably not the end of the world. But I just find myself not wanting to give you information on the first impression because honestly, sometimes I change my mind. I may use it a little bit and think I like it one day just based on those conditions, and then realize that I'm just not using it anymore. And I never want to influence you to either pick something up that you're not going to like or not pick up something that you might love just off of one day's wear. So with that, let's roll. So before we get into the heart of the video, I wanted to say thank you to Seeds Nova for letting me pick 3 items from 2 of their Amazon stores. When you're a small content creator like I am, you don't get a lot of things gifted to you. Mostly we buy everything ourselves. So I appreciate that they let me pick 3 pieces of jewelry from their Amazon stores, and I'm going to show you what I picked. So I picked these necklaces. This is a Celtic knot inside a heart, and you can see that the heart moves inside the bigger heart. This is sterling silver plated with 18 karat gold. And then I picked this rose pendant with love inscribed on the back. They thoughtfully create pieces that are going to evoke special meaning for the women who wear them, and their money back guarantee is good for 30 days. They come boxed really nicely. They include a little polishing cloth for the jewelry. So this is one of the stores, Pizzole, and then the other store is OSSZ, and I'll link that below with the discount code so you can save some money and get you some beautiful jewelry. They also let me pick out this ring that says Faith. I'm always proud to show off my faith. So let's talk about the specs on this new Elle foundation. I've never been a fan of any of ELLE's foundation products. I know. I love almost all of the other things that Elle puts out, but lots of their things I love. This is just the one area that hasn't been a hit with me so far. So let's get into the demonstration. So we're going to take this on one side. Oh, let me tell you, I always forget. I prepped my skin with skincare, and I prepped it with my sunscreen. So my sunscreen, for the purposes of this video, is going to act as my primer. I know all of you has heard about the Aquaphor hack. This is not new, guys. Anytime you put a barrier in between your skin and a product, it's definitely going to help, right? I can put this under here before I put on my concealer. But I'll tell you something that I actually like better, and this has been around for a long time. This is Tatcha, the serum stick. And I learned about this in another video way back when from a content creator named Elle.
You can also put it over and underneath your eyes if you have gotten kind of dry throughout the day, and kind of liven up your concealer. It's like a good touch-up stick. You can also...
I like this. It's like 80% squalene, and it has a lot of good for you ingredients in it. And I find that it does the same thing. It provides an occlusive, it seals in transepidermal water loss, and I can put it on texture. But this goes in my purse all the time, and I usually use it after I already have makeup on, when I have an area that's cakey or that looks a little heavy, or it's settled somewhere I'll just tap this on it and everything refreshes instantly. So I'll have that linked below too. But we'll compare it at the end to this Aquaphor. Finally, I went in with a very light amount. I know it says medium buildable, and we're going to build it up on the other side, but I want to be able to compare sides. There's going to be a definite difference at the end. Now what I've been using for concealer is this Dermatology Luminous Eye Corrector SPF 41. I have this in the color Fair and the color Light. For today, I am going to use the color Fair. And this has SPF 41 in it. I love this product, and it has basically replaced a concealer for me. Because this doesn't provide a whole lot of caking. It gives me a little bit of evening out of that dark under eye area. And it gives me some extra sun protection for this fragile area. So let's go in this side with a brush. I am going to use an old e.l.f. brush. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit more. I do think e.l.f.'s brushes are good. I had the black one that most of you probably have, or the one that would be available on the website if you go to order today. And that one's no longer with me because Rambo, my son's lab, not the one that we had to put down, but the other one, which if you look back at old videos, you'll see Rambo in the background. And he loved my expensive sponges, and he loved eating makeup brushes. And the other e.l.f. brush was done in by Rambo. Before I put my blush on and everything, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It does give you a satin finish. And see, I already feel like this is a little heavy right here. But before I pat it out with my sponge, we're going to go outside in the bright natural light, and we're going to give you a look at this. Okay, yes, you can definitely see that this side is too heavy when I go, and it's settling here, and it's caking up here. So I'm just going to shear that out a little bit. So I'm not going to set it down with powder. We're going to see how this wears today. You can still see that it has a luminosity, some satin finish. I like the satin finish. We're going to see how it wears. I'll be back in about 4 hours for a check-in, and then we'll be back at the end of the day, and I'll give you my final thoughts. I did want to say it is 8:32 in the morning. Well, hi y'all, as promised, this is my 4-hour check-in. Actually, it's about 6 minutes short of 4 hours. It's 12:24. I do find that the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation looks better after putting it on for a few minutes than it does upon initial application. For me, upon initial application, especially with the brush, it is still a little bit heavy and cakey on my textured skin. Now, keep in mind, I have a whole lot of texture. So, if you don't have a whole lot of texture on your skin, I think that this foundation looks beautiful. For me, applying it with a sponge works better, and a little bit sheared out works better. Now, the only helping I did over here was after initial application, I went ahead and tapped out a little bit of the heaviness right here, and then I used my Tatcha, the serum stick helper, which is 80% squalene, kept it from settling in this line right here. Yesterday, I did not use any helpers, and it settled here, and settled here, and here right away. Today, not the case with the helper. As part of my experiment, let's look at the Aquaphor Lip Repair Hack underneath this eye, and Tatcha, the serum stick, underneath this eye. And let's see if my Luminous Eye Corrector SPF 41 by Dermatology, if that did any creasing. I've basically been using this, ladies, as a color corrector and a concealer in one. It's a much lighter, creamier texture. It's not as heavy as a concealer, so it's not as prone to caking and looking heavy in the first place. So this is the Aquaphor side, if you remember, and I do have this line right here and some settling. So the Aquaphor, while it may have provided a base, helped seal in that moisture underneath my eyes so that it didn't get dry and cakey, still had some settling into fine lines despite the Aquaphor. I do think that it is better to put something like that than to put nothing at all. However, there are better for you ingredients that I do think are more effective. So if you look at this is the eye that I had Tatcha, the serum stick under, 80% squalene, and I don't see that same settling or cakiness. I think it still looks hydrated and it still looks good. So out of the two, I'm going to tell you that this is still my preference. this is cheaper. So you can get some benefit by using this or Vaseline or the liquid Aquaphor, anything that is a barrier in your cabinet. Not to make things complicated, but I will throw in this Kahi Soul Balm. This went viral on TikTok like a while back. You know, it's funny because Korean beauty was about all these steps and layers, and then after, you know, that pandemic time in around 2020, they went to, all their advertising was people carrying these little multi-balm sticks around. So this has a lot of good for you ingredients too. It does have fragrance though, but oh, what a nice fragrance it is. And this is called the Wrinkle Bounce Multi-Balm. And this works for me similar to Tatcha, and it's a little bit more affordable. And you can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link below. Same thing, if I feel like I'm getting dryness or caking, I can just go in and I can touch it up with this balm. I can do it underneath the eyes. It provides a plumpness and a hydration on the go, on top of makeup. So overall, I would say that this foundation is looking okay. It does emphasize some texture that I have right here. We're going to do another check-in and I'll give you my final thoughts later this evening. Hey y'all, I'm here for my final check-in. It's 5:32. It's 9 hours since I put this on, give or take. And I've tested it all week, so I know that what it looks like now is very similar to what it will look like at 10 hours, 12 hours. And so I think it's fine to do my final thoughts now. I think that this is a fine foundation. If you have less texture than me, you might love this foundation. The only negatives that I feel like I have are that it doesn't make my texture look quite as nice as I would like it to. Now, the day that I wore it with powder and setting spray, it actually looked really dry. Last night, I really hydrated my skin, and I almost have a little oil that I could possibly feel on my nose. I think that the finish is still good. If you have less texture than me, you're really going to love this foundation. I don't have anything settling here. Now, maybe that was because of my helper. Ladies, if you have texture or fine lines, I really think you should get you a Tatcha serum stick. I will say it wore off a little bit right here. And normally foundations don't wear off on me, but I was kind of jerky today. So let's check out the Aquaphor and the Tatcha stick. So this one has a little bit, like one line that really like just the concealer settled in. This one has none. They both look better than they might on an average day, but if you look at this one zoomed in, you can probably see this line right here, whereas this one doesn't really have any. But what I will tell you is if I took this Tatcha stick and I applied it, I could settle that right down. And the other thing that could do that is the Kahi Wrinkle Bounce Balm too. Very hydrating. These things can be touched up anytime during the day to reduce the look of texture and rehydrate your skin. So any product like that, I think the hack is a true hack, and I think that it will help. And there are actually some better products that can help in addition to the Aquaphor. And you don't just have to have Aquaphor. You could use like this Vaseline, this Carmex would work, any kind of product like that. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to put up a little swatch of me outside, and I would say that it's worth the $8 for sure, and that I will definitely use up this foundation. Thank you for taking your time to spend with me today. I appreciate you staying to the end of the video. That means a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.
She lives a double life, puts on a show. What's under this outer smile, we'll never know. She's a Mona Lisa.